Hello, welcome back, Halftime TV viewers and subscribers. Naranda Brown here, your host, and today's topic: the Reggae Boys underwhelming in match day four, really, of the English Premier League. I'll be just going into the performances of our players over the weekend. How did they do? Was I impressed? Was I not impressed? We'll find out all of that later on in the show. You can call in as well. Let me know what you thought of the performances of the Reggae Boys throughout the weekend. We promise you drama coming out of the JFF. It keeps unfolding. It keeps unraveling. The budget for the games or the expenses for the games that were recently concluded. They were made public yesterday, I think, in the Sunday Gleaner. And again, some serious numbers there. Some serious numbers. it. Uh, yeah. So it was quite underwhelming. So we will be talking about um the Reggae Boys. Obviously, we don't have any who'll be playing in the Everton versus Brighton game, so might as well do it now, right? So let me know what you guys think. How did the Reggae Boys do over the weekend? Michail Antonio, as you've obviously seen on the cover of this one, 0 to 0, coming off the back of such a fantastic month. He was player of the month for August. He got a red card. He got a red card in the 90th minute of the game, which is getting right. Hopefully, them can allow at least 5,000 fans next time. Try to raise this money. True. Totally agree. The lack of fans in the stadium, it's crippling the already cash strapped Jamaica Football Federation, and it's difficult. I won't hide that there's no two ways of putting this. It's quite difficult, and we've seen the biggest clubs in the world, the likes of Barcelona, Real Madrid, Liverpool. All these clubs have complained about the revenue. It's the same thing. Juventus complaining about the revenue that they lost last season and a half as a result of the fans being unable to come in. But I don't want to stray too much from the topic. As I said, talking about the Reggae Boys and their performances over the weekend, especially in the English Premier League. No, I'll start with Michail Antonio. I think his better. I won't even start with Michail Antonio. I'll start with Leon Bailey. What do you guys make of Leon Bailey's cameo against Chelsea? We know that one ended Chelsea 3, Aston Villa 0. But I saw if Leon Bailey was flooding social media really the entire afternoon, Saturday afternoon, going into yesterday. He did what? He put on a clinic, some may say. I wouldn't call it that, but he did some fancy footworks with Antonio Rudiger, and the same thing with Marcos Alonso. At the end of the day, it didn't come to anything really, and it basically pulls us back to where the Jamaican mindset is, because on both occasions Leon Bailey played the ball backwards. The one against Rudiger, he cut Rudiger and then he played it back. The one against Marcos Alonso, he was on his goal line, so he was essentially trying to clear the ball, trying to get out of a tight spot. And I think I think he gave a good enough 10-15 minutes. I think he came on. he put on a good show for the crowd. That's about it. Yes, but at the end of the day, we have to bear in mind that the crowd isn't the one who ensures that you stay at the club. All right, the crowd. If you don't win games, if you're putting on a show for the crowd and the team is losing, it won't matter. It won't matter. And we saw it in the Leeds versus Liverpool game, because the Leeds fan, they came out and they were vocal and they were pumped. And as soon as Liverpool went 2 goals up, the fans were quiet, and we were only hearing the Liverpool fans. So again, we have to understand that it is Jamaica fans love shift booze too much. Yeah, and the shift. Nothing is wrong with shifting someone, but at the end of the day, it has to come to something. It has to create something. It has to come up with an end product, right? And we saw Hazard. He used to do it a lot in the EPL. Neymar, he does it a lot now with PSG, and sometimes when he's with Brazil. Messi, he does it a lot as well. But what these guys do, they have an end product. So wherever you are on the pitch, on the shift you are, whatever, they they make a forward pass. They create an opportunity for someone, because when they dismiss you, they get you out of the game. So now it's on to the person who is attacking. Exactly. San Maxima. Um, San Maxima. Exactly. San Maxima is a prime example in the EPL. But again, I think Leon Bailey's performance, I would give it maybe, considering the time he was on the pitch, I'd give him maybe a 4.5. I don't think he had an impact on the game any at all. He rattled the Chelsea defenders on a few occasions, but again, it didn't come out to anything. So I can't give him anything over 5, because he wasn't threatening in the final third. He didn't create any chances that I can say, okay, forced a save or anything. I think he had one shot, a snapshot that went terribly wide. So again, underwhelming in my opinion. You guys can let me know what you think. If you disagree, let me know. How much would you rate his performance from the bench? And I saw Craig Butler was in a heated argument with one of my colleagues as well on Facebook about Leon Bailey's performance, and saying he's a hater and all of that. Nothing, no such thing. And I think Jamaicans, we need to step away. Yeah, I think Jamaicans, we need to step away from the mindset of constructive criticism being hate, right? Constructive criticism isn't hate. Like, you should be open to someone offering advice to you, to say, okay, this is not how it's done, or what you did there didn't make any sense, or you get me. And even as a coach, as Craig Butler said, he says he is, you should understand that more than anything else, because as a coach, you're the one delivering redirection to your players, or to your clients then on a daily basis, or redirecting them in a way as to providing constructive criticism to them based on the performances that they give. But again, as I said, folks, I'd give him a 4 for the 10-15 minutes he was on the pitch. You guys let me know what you think, because I don't want it to be all about me. I don't want it to be all about halftime TV. Lindell, Ellie said, reminds me of Gregory Messam until Ricardo Gardner killed his career. I remember Gregory Messam, fantastic player as well. Jamaica, yeah. So Nicholas, folks, if you're on here and you haven't subscribed to Salta's channel as yet, please subscribe to the channel. Get him to 1,000 subscribers ASAP. All right, we need to get him there. We need to get him to 1,000 subscribers before at least this week ends. So if you haven't subscribed to Nicholas Salto's channel, go over on YouTube, type it in. You can't miss it. Salto, put the link in, type the link there, let me pin it so the folks on here, they can subscribe to it. But yeah, subscribe to his channel. Really good content, generally about the English Premier League, usually about football. He's an Arsenal fan, so he needs your support no more than ever. So check out Salta, folks. He's gonna type the link in the comments, and I'll pin it so you guys can know where to find it. All right. But again, as I said, I'd give Leon Bailey a 4. I'd give him a 4. Let me know if I'm being harsh, but we move on. We move on, because we're not dwelling on it. We're not dwelling on it. We move on to the next game, and hopefully the next game he will be more convincing. I think in the first game he played, he had an assist off the bench. This weekend, sadly, he was coming back from an injury. Buendia, he wasn't there, who is one of their main creative talents as well. He had to sit out this one because of the situation with the international duty and all of that. But again, Leon Bailey, he came off the bench and he gave an underwhelming performance in my opinion. Jamaicans will say, oh, he dismissed Rudiger and he dismissed Alonso. Yes, but at the end of the day, Alonso and Rudiger, they're the ones stepping away with 3 points and 3 goals. All right, so I hope that answers that. Now, moving on to Michail Antonio. Yes, Michail Antonio, the newest addition to the Reggae Boyz team. Now, folks have been messaging me and asking me if it's a curse of the Reggae Boyz that has played a toll on Michail Antonio. I won't go as far as to say that, but I must say this game at the weekend. He had a few chances that I expected him to put away. He lost his head in the latter part of the game. I think he got in a tangle with one of the Southampton players that earned him the first yellow card. Uh, I think the referee was a little bit harsh, but also I think it is what it is now, because he raised his hand and basically almost put the player in a headlock. So something like this and pull him down. But again, on the back of a disappointing performance, a disappointing debut performance for the Reggae Boyz, I trust the level of confidence that he had going into the international break. It has watered down somewhat, and maybe it has played a role in his performance on the weekend. I think going into the international break, he was hyped, he was pumped, he was looking forward to that debut appearance for Jamaica, and even getting on the score sheet. Some may even go as far as saying. And one of the vloggers on social media, on YouTube, they said, I said Theodore Whitmore made Michail Antonio look as if he was a construction site worker. And I heard the statement and I was like, this may very well have some merit to it. This may very well have some merit to it. And he returned to West Ham. He played at the weekend, and I think it was not only because he didn't score, but I think it was his worst performance of the season so far. And this has nothing to do with his inability to score on the day. All right, I think this is my opinion. I think he just looked out of it. Like it's almost as if the Southampton defenders, they got the better of him from early out. And I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But again, I'd probably give him a 5. Only reason he gets a 5 is because even though it wasn't going his way, he was constantly pushing, he was constantly trying, he was a threat for the entire 90 minutes that he was on the pitch, right? The reason he doesn't get a 6 is because he got a red card. So I gave him a 5. That's my opinion. I think Michail Antonio, he's a good player. Obviously, if you're not a good player, you're not West Ham's leading goal scorer in the Premier League era. So he is a good player. He probably just needs to reassess what's happening and come back better. Maybe I gave him a 4. So we gave both the Jamaican players a 4 so far. That's Javar being a little bit harsh on Michail Antonio, but I can see through a 4 as well. I can see through a 4, as I said. It's understandable, whatever you choose to give them. But anywhere between 4 and 6 is understandable, in my opinion. Whether it's the curse of the Jamaican football team or the JFF jinx, we don't know. But it doesn't look promising and encouraging. Hopefully the next international break will be a little bit better, because we'll be playing the United States and Canada. I think we'll be playing Canada in Jamaica. We'll be playing the United States on the US soil. So they should be able to play at least 2 games this time around, because some points of a fantasy. Yeah, so the folks on fantasy, the folks who play fantasy football, and if you're in the halftime fantasy league on here as well, you realize that a lot of the competitors, they have Michail Antonio as a part of their striking duo, or a part of their striking trio. Don't call it a curse, please. No, Lindell Ellis, it's what they're saying. So I just have to put it out there to hear what you guys think. All right, but I don't believe in curses. I don't believe in luck. I don't believe in any of that. So neither here nor there for me, really. But I think he'll come back better. He misses a game, because I if I'm not wrong, the card he got, it wasn't a second yellow, it was a straight red. So I'm not sure, but I'll revisit the situation. I'll revisit the situation and see how that one turned out. But we can agree that Michail Antonio, he didn't do well over the weekend. It was his worst showing, as I said, for me this season so far. I think the level of confidence that he went into the international break with, it just dissipated when he came back, he didn't look the same, Michail Antonio. And I think another few days with his teammates at West Ham, and he'll be back at it. All right, but this weekend he wasn't it. He wasn't it for Jamaica either. So they said one time is a coincidence. Two time. They said one time is a chance and two times a coincidence. But whenever it gets to three times, then it becomes routine. So we hope the third game doesn't yield the same result. The third game should be an intriguing one. I think they're playing against Manchester United. Manchester United, right? Yeah, I think they're playing against Manchester United the next game that West Ham play. He won't play that one, obviously. So he should return for the game after that. Okay, so again, Michail Antonio, for me, a 5. Javar gave him a 4. Let me know what you guys think. What is your rating of him over this weekend? Now we move on to the third and final Reggae Boy, well, active Reggae Boy in the EPL, Ethan Pinnock. Where do I begin with Ethan Pinnock? Where do we begin with Ethan Pinnock, folks? All right, let me know what you guys think. Ratings. How much do you give Ethan Pinnock for this weekend's performance? Let's hear it. How much do we give Ethan Pinnock? How much do we give Ethan Pinnock? Ethan Pinnock. I think he gets a 5 as well. I think he gets a 5 as well. He wasn't again the Ethan Pinnock of the previous 2 weeks, and I think the thing with this thing, why it's so difficult for me to judge these performances, is because whenever you go into the international break, because the commentators will tell you, and some of the pundits will tell you as well, there are some teams who don't want the international break to come any at all. And then there are other teams who they can't wait for the international break to come. And the reason being, probably you're on a bad run of form. You want that little bit of break so you can refresh and you can reassess the situation and you can come back better. And then there are some who they're on such a tremendous run of form that they don't want it to end, because the moment they aren't playing, that additional week of not playing, and it will be back on fire. Yeah. Lindell, I hope so too, Lindell. I hope he'll be back on fire. I'm a big fan of him. I just think this weekend just wasn't it, and I was disappointed because I had him in my fantasy team as well. So it's a good thing I added in Edward at Crystal Palace, because otherwise my fantasy team would have been it would have been a joke. But again, as I was saying about the international break, it works wonders for some, and for some it's not so great. For some it's a worst news possible when you have to go on international break, because you're thinking, I'm playing every 5 day or every 6 day or every 7 days, and we have something good going on now. We have something that's gaining traction. The moment you break up that group and folks go out with their teams and all of that, the international teams. Remember, each international team, they may not have the same system of play as the club plays. And that was the case with Michail Antonio. Jamaica's system of play most times is questionable. Like, fans, they question Jamaica's actual system of play 9 out of 10 times the team goes out there. So I know Michail Antonio, he would have been questioning it as well, because working with the likes of David Moyes, I know he outlines his objectives clearly, and then he goes to the Reggae Boyz team and he's working with Theodore Whitmore, who I won't say because I haven't spoken with him personally, but it appears, based on what I watch on the television most times, that the instructions aren't clear, because some of the players, sometimes it's almost as if they don't know what their role in the team is. So I think it confuses everybody, and it may confuse the players as well. And getting your thoughts back into the mindset, or channeling everything back when you get back on international duty, to know that, hey, this is what is expected of me, this is what I need to do, this is where I need to be when this player have the ball, etc. It may be difficult for some. And I know you guys may say, or you may rebut and say, well, these are professionals and all of that. Yes, they're professionals, but before they're professionals, they're humans, right? And they have brains just like you and I do, and their brains operate the same way. Like all the brains, really, all of us, our brains operate the same way. All right. So as I said, Michail Antonio, I gave him a 5, Javar gave him a 4. I gave Ethan Pinnock a 5. I think he wasn't as colossal as we've seen him be this season so far. I don't know. I think one of the goals that the goal his team conceded, was it the first one? I don't even remember how his team's game finished, but I remember one goal where the player controlled the ball just in the center of just almost on the edge of the 18-yard box, and he couldn't get across fast enough to block it, and it ended up in the bottom left hand corner. So I'll give Ethan Pinnock a 5. I think it wasn't his best showing, but nonetheless, as I said before, as I explained, I expect these players to come better. I expect them to rebound from these performances. It wasn't the best week for the Jamaicans in the English Premier League, but we had some players who were playing in other leagues who did well. Andre Gray got on the score sheet, which was good. He's at QPR now. I think QPR's game finished 3-3. So we have some of our players who are doing well, but also we need to remember Andre Gray wasn't a part of the international break. So I am hoping that the next international break will get some confidence in the players, and that when they return to their clubs, it will be reflected. Because sometimes, when players go away with their clubs, they're so happy, they're so pumped, they're so ecstatic that when they return to their clubs, that energy is still there, and the energy transcends, and it is reflected when they're on the field, right? So we can feel it wherever we are in the world. We can feel the energy pushing off these players. So again, I think the Reggae Boyz in the English Premier League, especially the ones who came on international duty, they were very, very underwhelming over this past weekend in the English Premier League. I hope it gets better. Leon Bailey, I think he too was underwhelming, but again, we have to consider the variables. He's just coming back from an injury. He only got maybe 10-15 minutes, so he got a cameo. So I can't judge him too hard, but based on the time he got on the field and the opportunities, the situations that he got himself in, I think he was underwhelming as well, and he deserves the 4 I gave him. So 4 for Leon Bailey, 5 for Michail Antonio, and 5 for Ethan Pinnock. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know your views. What's your assessment of the boys' performance over the weekend? Were you impressed? Were you intrigued? Were you disappointed, as we over here at Halftime TV are? Let me know. Whatever the sentiment be that you share, just share it in the comment section. We appreciate it. All right. And like, share, and subscribe, folks. Thanks for tuning in. As always, Halftime TV, we welcome the feedback, we welcome the company, and we appreciate everything you guys have done for us for the past few months. Let's see if we can get to 4,000 subscribers before the end of this month. We're just under 3,700. So I am more than happy and more than sure that you guys can take us over that 4,000 subscribers mark. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I hope each and every one of you have a productive rest of your day. It's Monday. The sun is out where I'm at. Let's see what's happening in the EPL for the rest of today. And the Champions League returns. The Champions League returns tomorrow. So I hope your team does well, whatever your team is, whoever you cheer for. We hope your team does well, and who knows, probably by the end of the week we'll be here discussing the Champions League. But until then, folks, take care, like, share, subscribe. Again, Narando again saying until next time, bye bye.